drop step, whatever you want to call that. Essentially, when you're leaning and you got to step out in order to go the other direction, it's a step in the wrong direction to be more aggressive in the direction you want to go. A lot of people call them drop step, Filipino kick out. I think that's what Steve Anderson calls it. I don't know. There's a bunch of different names for it. But it's a drop step essentially. If I am leaning all the way to the right, like I'm shooting on this side of the barrier, and I have most of my weight on this leg, it is very tough to generate momentum by just pushing off of it. Not impossible, and it scores pretty good, but it is definitely better once I have, so like 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, like once I start getting in that realm of like very, very heavy on one side, it is significantly better for me to drop step and move in the direction of travel. Now, in the past, I have done this incorrectly, like everybody and their mama. And we found that drop steps are really less efficient on time. That's what we have found in the past. But I think some of the efficiency goes away because people aren't doing it correctly, including myself. So I'd get to this position and then I'd do a step out, but notice where my foot goes. And then my body goes that way too, and then I go that direction. So you're seeing like almost like a drag. If you watch my head, right? I'm this way. I'm gonna try doing correct. Like I step out, my head moves that direction. It almost has a whiplash before it goes in the correct direction. You guys seeing that? That is how most people do it. And so when you start putting that on the timer, it doesn't do very well because you got this whiplash into motion, right? The correct way to do it, and that's something I have been doing a lot more of in the last maybe 6 months or so, as I get deep into the IDPA sport with some savages around here. I am learning that yes, you can be leaned out like this, but I need to be low, heels kind of more together than when I normally shoot USPSA, right? If I do a lean, a nasty lean that would require that kick out, I'm going to be doing it with my feet closer together so that I can have more lean, right? I can actually lean better around a barrier if my feet are closer together, which we've talked about before in the program. So it's a better lean. And when I go to drop out, notice that my head starts moving in the correct direction immediately instead of like getting whiplash. And my shin and my toe start pointing in the direction of travel even before my lead foot turns. So if I'm leaning here, boom, I am immediately shin 45 degrees like a runner would be. Like if I'm going to go running, like I'm going to be in that position, right? So even before I can turn my foot, instead of putting my foot out straight, I'm going to put my foot out this way, toe in the direction of travel, shin down into the ground, my head immediately turning to where I want to be going, and I go into that running position. So the drop step, if done correctly, actually isn't any slower. And if I am in that leaned out position, I am going to prefer leaving that position with this infamous drop step. Now, if I have the 50-50 or even 60-40, like if I'm just doing boom, boom, I'm probably just going to take off. If I don't have a whole lot of weight there, I'm probably going to take off. But at some point, if I'm doing like really leaned out and I just take off, watch my body. It's going to be dragging, whiplashing me out of that position, and that does not do very well. It does not give me a whole bunch of energy getting out of that position. It feels very sluggish, and it requires a whole lot of strength and effort on my trail leg going in the direction of travel. Does that make sense? So if I am over here and I've got this like gnarly lean, like if I'm under the lean all the way around the corner, like notice my heels are going to start coming together a little bit, boom, 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 boom. I'm going to be dropping my foot so that I can have my shin down in the direction of travel, and my head's gonna go in that direction too. This is correct. So if I have this, boom, 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 in slow motion, it's going to be this. Boom, boom. A little bit quicker if you wanna see it that way. Boom, boom. Immediately, I am going to drop my head forward. I'm going to drop my shin to the ground. My toe is going to be pointing in the direction of travel, and I'm going to get momentum much, much quicker. Even if it's like 3 steps, this is going to do really, really well. This is going to do really well. The issue is, and you should video yourself, when it's not scoring as good for you or when you're testing it, because I remember testing it too, but I didn't notice this. If I was testing it incorrectly, in other words, like I'm leaned out and then I do the like The whiplash thing, that's why it doesn't do well, because I don't have my body in the direction of travel. My shin is not in the direction of travel. My toe is not in the direction of travel. None of that stuff is good. So if I go boom, 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 and I immediately go into that runner position, like I do the drop step, but my toes turn out towards the direction of travel. My shin goes down as if I'm going to run. It is a much